Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As I anticipated and I stated, the Poles will jump or try to jump at Russia's balls to fondle them. And the Polish Foreign Ministry demanded an explanation from the Russian Federation, from the government over there, why that particular missile that they claim it was Russian and launched by Russia entered Polish territory. Well, of course, that as a free independent country, that's exactly what you should do. You should ask the country that you think it violated its airspace to provide explanations. Hey, why did you do this? Please don't do it again. That's a bad thing. This could escalate, and so on. All right, but we know the framework over here is different as the Poles and the Russians. And it's not like that. And the Russians say, you know what, we're not going to provide any explanations until you provide concrete evidence that that was our missile. Until then, bye-bye. Well, this is how two independent countries speak to one another. That's one thing missing, though. One country is stronger than the other one. Apparently, or not. Well, however you want to call it, Russia is stronger than Poland. I know. Poland is the best and the strongest and so on. But nevertheless, we have to be a little bit objective here and tell the truth, which is Polish military cannot beat the Russian military. If you think so, the Russians can deliver 5 nuclear weapons and you're done. So that tells me you cannot do this to them. Therefore, they're much stronger than you. So by that, put to the side the garbage of patriotism, which I like, nationalism I like, but involves some logos with a pathos. So let's move on. Now, obviously, Poland does that for good reasons. And remember, it happened before when the Ukrainians did something like this and they killed 2 Poles. So let's see how these guys look at it, the Poles and the Russians. We're going to start with the Poles. Ukraińska Pravda, Polish Foreign Ministry demands explanation from Russia over airspace violation by missile. Well, if they, the Poles, determined that it was a Russian, not a Russian made, a Russian launched missile, well, of course, if it was a Ukrainian launched missile, again, you should demand explanation. I don't remember Poland demanding explanations from Ukraine when the Ukrainians killed those Poles driving the little tractor with a trailer. Do you remember that one? I remember. I don't think whatsoever that that was an accident. All right. Why? I explained that many times on videos. Yesterday I made the point again in the morning, so you can watch that video when I discussed the same garbage with a missile. There are some conflicting stories here coming from the Ukrainians, and not only that and the Poles, that the missile entered. First, it entered and then disappeared, entered the airspace and then disappeared. Then they said, well, we're looking for it where it fell. Then we're looking for debris. Then they said, no, the missile, which they say it was probably in a KH-22 or KH-101, entered for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. A missile flying 3 minutes at that speed covers a lot of land. And then it came back into the Ukrainian territory and was shot down by the Ukrainians. So the missile was not shot down when it went all over the Ukrainian territory, went to the Polish territory for 3 minutes. It went back and only then the Ukrainians shot it down. So that missile spent some time in the Ukrainian territory, not shot down, went to Poland, 3 minutes, came back, and as it came back from Poland, the air defenses of the Ukrainian, blah, 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 they hit it as it was coming from Poland. Do you believe that? It's hard to believe. I'm very skeptical of the story, but doesn't matter. They didn't do anything when these guys bombarded with that missile. Now, there's a problem. This is Russian. Well, if that's the evidence and you have the evidence, prevent the evidence, then you go and demand an explanation. If the Poles have the evidence, and I don't know if they do, they claim probably they have it, they already determined it's Russian, then yeah, they should demand an explanation, and they also already summoned the Russian diplomatic attaché in Warsaw. So let's see what these guys are saying further. Remember, if someone doesn't provide you with any evidence that it was you, you shouldn't provide any explanation. If you explain something or you excuse, I think it's the French who said that who excuses himself accuses himself. Cine se scuză se acuză, that's Romanian. So the same here. If you just try to, oh yeah, no, that means you did it. The Russians said, no, prove it was ours and then we talk. Until then, I'm not going to deal with this garbage. Now, could the Russians have done it? Yeah, they could. Possible? Yeah. Probable? 50%. Could the Ukrainians do such a thing? Possible? 100%. Probable? More than 50%. I would give it. Or the odds, however we want to go. So let's go back to this article and look a little bit how the tone. On the night of Friday, the 29th of December, the head of the Russian embassy received a note from the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs demanding an explanation for a violation of Polish airspace by a Russian missile. So they already know that, right? So they already know it happened in the 29th in the morning. By 29th in the evening, they already knew it was Russian, supposedly. Details. According to the statement, Poland's Deputy Foreign Minister summoned the Russia's charge d'affaires, Andrzej Ordach. He was handed a note in which the Polish Foreign Ministry demanded, and I'm quoting, an explanation regarding an incident involving a violation of the airspace of the Republic of Poland by a cruise missile and the immediate cessation of such activities. Correct. I would do the same thing. The General Staff of the Polish Army, okay, they said KH-22, KH-01. Okay, now we go to the second article. The New Voice of Ukraine, the 30th of December, which is today. Russia refuses explanations, demands, and I'm quoting, concrete evidence of missile that violated Polish airspace. That's exactly what you would do if your neighbor comes and tells you your dog pooped in his yard. You say, well, I would like to see the evidence. Oh, you found a poop. How do you know that poop is my dog's? Did you smell it? Did you taste it? Do you have any cameras? Did you see him? Anybody? So that's, I mean, you want more than it's some poop in my yard, it's your dog. It's not only my dog that goes in your yard, okay? If my dog goes in your yard anyway. So you would do the same thing. You say, no, before I'm starting trying to provide you excuses and explanations, go and bring the evidence. Bring me the video, it was my dog. I'm not convinced it was my dog. Possible? Yeah, it's possible. But could be possible that the neighbor's dog pooped in your yard as well? And if you say no, based on what evidence? Bring the evidence. So easy, but hey, what do you want? These guys are just picking a fight in the name of other interests, unfortunately. Moscow has refused to provide any explanation for a purported Russian missile. I like this one, purported. And remember, these are also the suspects, the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are also the suspects in all this. So how do you think they're going to write an article? And still, they use this word, and I like that. Because it seems that they're balanced, or at least, no, you don't know yet unless the Poles provide the evidence that violated Polish airspace during its December 29 mass attack on Ukraine, demanding, and I'm quoting, concrete evidence before addressing the issue, the pro-Kremlin RIA Novosti propaganda agency reported, citing the Russian Federation's charge d'affaires to Poland, Andrzej Ordach, the one that was summoned. He dismissed Warsaw's accusations as, and I'm quoting, groundless, and I don't know if it would be groundless because, you know, it's a missile. And then, and compare them to a very similar incident on November 15, 2022, when a missile fell in the Polish village of Przewodów during a massive Russian attack on Ukraine, killing 2 people. Hey. Whose missile was that? Initial reports suggested it was Russian-made. No, you came out in 45 minutes. Ukrainians came out in 45 minutes and said it was a Russian missile and it was theirs. That was a lie. False flag? 100%, I would say. Or at least not false flag. You accused without knowing the evidence. Now that's bad. Polish experts concluded that the missile was part of Ukraine's air defense. Polish President Andrzej Duda convened an urgent meeting of the government. Okay. All right, let's see. The object came from the direction of the Ukrainian border. It was monitored by air defense radars from the moment it crossed the border into Poland until the signal disappeared. So how do you know it's Russian? Polish Deputy Foreign Minister said that in the future the country will respond more firmly to the repeated attempts by Russia to violate its space. But how do you know it was Russian? And that's it. They don't provide any information. We got another article here from the Kiev Independent, the same December 30th, 2022. Russian media. Russia won't give explanation over missile in Poland without concrete evidence. It's Russian. It's Russian. Now, let's say you're Russia and you have a problem with the neighbor here. Again, and you got another neighbor over there. Without evidence, I'm not talking to you. I don't even bother. Especially that we are not in good relationship anyway between you and I. So go and bring the evidence. Come bring it and say it was yours. Your dog pooped and all that, and I will not want to discuss it. And in case that it was mine, it was a mistake, or I say it was a mistake, I will apologize. Sorry, my bad, and I will try to be more cautious next time. I have no intention of sending my dog purposely to poop in your yard. It was a mistake, my mistake, and I will try to keep my dog in a leash and having poop on my bed. But that's how it should be in a normal civilized society. But I think the Poles are just activated by their master to bring fresh blood in Ukraine. And I think they're moving towards that direction where they will say, well, we should institute a no-flight zone over Ukraine because we can. How? I don't know. Who gives you the authority? This gives them the authority, the strength. And then the other one, we're going to bring some peacekeeping forces just to make sure that there's going to be some military, but they will not be armed. They will not have weapons. They will just provide services like build roads, take care of patients, move stuff around. They will not be active combatants. We promise you. And the Russians will say, yes, we believe you. Not. I hope. But they still call the Western weasels partners. I heard Putin. I made a video where he had that 4-hour-long marathon. Every year he's got it with the public and Q&A and with the media. And he called, again, the Americans, partners. Doesn't he understand? I mean, you can be nice, but at one point you become ridiculous. Is one who shoots at you with things to kill you, and you call that guy partner? I mean, if these guys can pull a Gaddafi on Putin right now, they will celebrate as, if you remember, Hillary Clinton celebrated when she was told that Gaddafi was killed like a rat. We saw he's dead. Watch that video, it's still on YouTube. Now that is the level of civilization. That's exactly the way the ancient, we call them uncivilized people, barbarians, used to do with the enemy's bodies. Drag them around. You want Achilles with Hector at Troy? He dragged it the same. Oh my God, it's awful. And you have Hillary Clinton, what? More than 3,000 years, or about 3,000 years after all that, celebrating on camera. And you think that we're civilized? We're not civilized. We're the same, man. We're the same. We're just, a little bit more sophisticated, or pretend, or we learn some rules. We're conditioned to follow some rules. But in essence, Hillary Clinton, would you say that she's not civilized? Would you say that she's not, sophisticated? I mean, she's not a thug. I mean, she's not, a guy that would rob you in the middle of the night. She robs you in the middle of the day, illegally, and smiling. All right, my friends. Yeah, Russia should not give any explanation. Nobody should give any explanation to anybody unless you really have evidence. And just because it's a missile coming in and missile going out, you don't even know who launched it. Do you know? Bring the evidence. But the same, I think things change. They want just to intervene in Ukraine, and they create a little, passion and love and awe. and in order to support the garbage that they are having in stock for us, which is direct confrontation with the Russians. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.